In our previous video, we were looking at how an organization sees itself, for good or for bad. Well, the reason we talk about that is because how the organization sees itself really is going to impact its organizational structure. In fact, we're going to be looking at in our videos how the strategy we have for our organization, the size of our organization, the process design, how we go about making our goods or providing our services, the environment that we're in, all of that informs ultimately the organizational structure that we choose. But before we can do that, we need to look at what we mean by organizational structure. So there are 6 elements of organizational structure that we need to investigate, and they are work specialization, departmentalization, chain of command, span of control, centralization or decentralization, and formalization. So we're going to go through each of these in this video and the next couple videos. So let's start by looking at what do we mean by these elements of organizational structure. So when we talk about work specialization, we're talking about the degree to which the tasks are divided into different jobs. So what kind of division of labor do you have? If you are a small business or a family business, likely you do a bit of everything. From marketing, sales, you do the books. So there's no work specialization, you do it all. Maybe you are in manufacturing. Maybe you work for a company like Cargill, in which case you're on the assembly line. And so your job all day, every day is to cut fat off of a certain part of the meat. It's highly specialized. Okay, and we divide up the labor and you do one task. It's kind of a range, right? From that one end where you do everything to the other end when you're manufacturing and all you do every day is turn the same screw. So you might be working at Amazon where you are unloading boxes and loading boxes. So it is a lot of specialization, but maybe not as specialized as we could see at Cargill. If you work in payroll in your organization, so all of your tasks are related to pay, but it's not that you're doing every role within the organization. So we can look at the spectrum in terms of work specialization. The next element of organizational structure is the amount of departmentalization. So how are we going to group people together? And there are different types of departments. We'll come back to that slide in just a moment, but there's different types of departments. You can group people by their task, what it is they're doing. This would be the accounting department, the human resources department. We can also group people based on the product, the output. So for example, if you work at Hudson Bay, you might work in the footwear department or in the women's clothing department. So we can group the workers by the particular good or service that they're making or selling. We can group people based on the customers they deal with. So perhaps we have a company like a car dealership and we sell to trucks to businesses. We sell trucks to individuals. And so we might group then our sales force, those who are selling directly to households versus those who are selling to businesses. So we can put our departments together based on who the customer is. Wholesale, retail, government, so on. We're seeing more and more departments based on customer. Another way to group your workers is geographic. Maybe you have a company that spans multiple locations, and so then you have a group for different geographical areas. When we look at banks, they divide up their departments are by geography. So we might have the Central Alberta group, we have the Northern Alberta group, in terms of the teams that are interacting with each other. And the last one we have here is process-based in terms of the department. So here we're grouping employees based on work or customer flow. So for example, if you're looking at a salon, you have workers who deal with haircuts and dyeing hair. That's one group. They follow a certain process flow in terms of washing the hair, cutting the hair, styling it. They follow that flow. You might have another group of employees who are part of the spa. So they're more involved in the manicures, the pedicures. And so their process flow, how they deal with the customers or how they deal with the work, is going to be different, right? In terms of what the set process is, where the customer is taken, and what services are offered to them. So we can set up by process, by geography, by customer, by product, or by functional area. Now, when it comes to departmentalization, what has become more and more popular is cross-functional teams. So this is where we bring in individuals from different functional areas to be part of a group. And this is used when we have projects like we're doing some strategic planning. So we need to then figure out what's the mission and vision for our organization, who are we trying to be, and how we're going to get there. So we need representation from different parts of the organization. So we bring in somebody from operations and production, we bring in somebody from marketing and sales, we bring in someone from accounting, bring them together to help inform those decisions. So whether we're looking at strategy, whether we're trying to address quality issues, we might have a quality assurance team, and that has representatives from various different parts of production and those who interact with customers. If you're doing city planning, you might bring in an engineer, the policy makers, the architects, some community individuals to be part of the team. So cross-functional teams is where we're bringing people from different functional areas, as opposed to a functional department where we group them by the particular tasks that they're doing.